Sister Laila live. Sister Laila live. Weekly for the show at the hour. Ask Sister Laila live. Sister Laila. Invite your friends and family. Get cozy. Ask Sister Laila.
Let me do it again. Y'all got to remind me to do that every time. Okay, let me start it over again. In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to the Call In and Ask Sister Laila live show. And alhamdulillah, this is where you can come and ask your questions about Islam. And don't worry, any question you have, if there's a question, which there should be, that I cannot answer, don't fret. Because I do have Sheikh Mustafa Morsi Abu Attayib, who is one of the scholars of the ulama, on standby, inshallah, in case I need to call him. So any questions you have about this religion, and by the way, people, I got people trying to get in. Can y'all look at the screen? Oh, I can see her. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so any questions that you guys have about Islam, you can go ahead and type them on the screen and we'll try to get your answer to you. And there's several different ways you can get your questions asked. If you are on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, all you have to do is type your question on the screen and I'll be able to see it and answer it. If you are on Instagram, you're going to have to join. Do I have a person watching on Instagram? Usually Fam May sometimes watches. If you are on,
I'm watching it.
Yeah, on Instagram, you can type your question there too. And I have Sister Fam May watching. And also, if you are on Rumble, okay, I see what it said. Okay, for Rumble. The people, people on Rumble, there's a problem with Rumble. People on Rumble are going to have to join YouTube right now because there's a problem with that stream. I messed it up. I'm sorry. Sorry, Rumble. They know what to do, though. They can join YouTube or Facebook, okay? And type your question. Or if you would like to use the microphone, if you would like to use your voice, which is really the best thing to do, feel free to join our Zoom room. And by the way, bear with me, I'm using a different streaming program. How can you you can join our Zoom room by simply going to, hold on. Where am I at? Go to www.Sunnahfollowers.net. And you can come into Zoom and use the microphone or type your question there. But if you're going to come into Zoom, let me tell you guys, don't type to me because even though I'm there, I'm not going to see your question. If you have a question, you can type it there and one of the sisters will answer it. Or you can send it to Sister Famay. And inshallah, she'll get that question asked for you. And let me put it there. I thought I had it here. Let me put this. Okay, there's that one. Just bear with me, guys. This is new. What's this? Okay, that's the Ask Sister Laila Lives. Let me make a banner right quick. So you can go to use mic. No, you can call or you can call in. Let me write this here. The call-in number is 862-370-2838. That's also our WhatsApp number too. You can call in on that or to use the mic, www.Sunnahfollowers.net or okay. Or you can simply just go to the Sunnahfollowers.net page. Go to the Sunnahfollowers.net page and then just type down on that page. There you go. That's better. You can go to the Sunnahfollowers.net page and send your message. It'll go straight to WhatsApp. So if you go there, a little chat box will open up asking, where you can type your question in the chat box. It'll go to automatically to our cell or to our phones, and it'll also go to to our WhatsApp group. So those are the ways you can get your questions answered. It doesn't matter what the question is. Just, understand that I'm not crazy. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't come in here with those questions that are inappropriate, because don't think that I'm not crazy and can't see that those questions are inappropriate and I won't entertain them. But other than that, any other questions you want to ask, you can go ahead and type them. And by the way, as we're talking, go ahead and you can start typing now as we talk, as I'm looking at these new programs. Let me test something. Let me see how this looks. Look at that. I like that. That looks better when I put y'all stuff on the screen like that. See that? I can read that better. I'm an old woman. Look at that. That's better. That's better. Oh, goodness. I like that. Yeah, so y'all can type them questions and I can use this. Wow. That's the moderator. When y'all see that tool, Pamela's one of the moderators there. Yeah, subhanAllah. Amina's a moderator too. Let me show y'all. There's Amina. Any problems there on YouTube? She's a moderator there too. Okay, mashallah. Okay, so any questions, you guys, go ahead and start typing them. And what do you guys think about the classes that I've been teaching about elections? I would like to hear your feedback about that. Because subhanAllah, a lot of Muslims got it twisted. Oh yeah, don't get it twisted. A lot of Muslims have it twisted. They're trying to tell you guys to go out and vote for a president. What do you guys think about that? You guys know what Allah says about it in the Quran. You guys know what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said about it. You guys know that the companions never did any stuff like that. But why is it that Muslims today, despite knowing the truth and reality, they still choose to disobey Allah? How many Muslims do you know refer to themselves as being Democrats? Astaghfirullah. How can you call yourself a Muslim and say that you are a Democrat? Subhanallah, or a Republican, or any of that, when all of that ideology, all of it totally contradicts, totally contradicts our belief system. I like to hear your thoughts about that, about my class. I would love to hear your feedback. Okay, and while we wait for some feedback on that, are there any questions we have so far, Sister Fahmy? I'm still playing with this program. I'm going to see if I can download one of my...
I have a question as you're waiting for that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's totally different. Okay. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, Allah excuses and grants forgiveness to a person until he attains the age of 60. That's from Bukhari. Could you please explain that?
That's one hadith. There's several in Bukhari too. There's also another hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said Allah will excuse a person up until he turns the age of 30. Then there's another one. Allah will excuse a person up until he turns the age of 40. And the reason why you will find hadiths like that, where he's using different ages, is because he was answering different people. Okay, different, just like with the Quran, something happened for Allah to say what he said. Something happened for the Prophet to say what he said. There was one companion that used to get drunk all the time. He was only 30, but he liked to get drunk. So the Prophet would tell him, Allah ain't going to excuse you. I mean, you too old for this. You should be outgrown it. Then another man was a fornicator. And the Prophet said, you 40 years old and you still fornicating? There's no excuse for that. Then another man was 60 and he was an alcoholic. He said, you're 60 and you still don't know? That hadith does not mean that Allah excuses you. Because as the Lord tells you in the Quran, he doesn't excuse us from no sin. We have to answer for whatever we do, that we deliberately, intentionally do. And to be honest, that's bad English. If we were to rewrite that hadith in the Fusha, if I had Dr. Assam or Sheikh Morsi or even Jamali, because he understands some of that Fusha too, to translate that hadith, it wouldn't say the word excuse would not be used. That's the English word. What the prophet is saying is that after reaching a certain age, you should know better. For those who don't know better and you still doing sins that you should have gotten out of your system years ago, the punishment is going to be even more severe. And then in another hadith, it's the same hadith. Also, the second part of that hadith, that's when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was talking to the 60-year-old man, because the 60-year-old man was a drunk. He said, you're 60 years old and you still can't stop getting drunk. Allah sent down the laws forbidding alcohol. You continuously get drunk. He said, there's no excuse for you. You should know better. You should have that habit under control now. He said, don't you know, this is the same hadith, that on the day of judgment, when Allah raises us up out of our grave, the man who died an alcoholic, he will be raised up as a kafir because Allah blessed him. This is the whole hadith of that hadith phrase, or that one there. Because Allah blessed him with a long life. Allah allowed you to live to be 60 years old, and you still chose to take your desires over Allah. So there's no excuse. You will be raised up as a kafir. That's the hadith. So when the Prophet was telling a man that he's 60 years old, ain't no excuse, he was basically telling him, you're a kafir. Bottom line, you don't believe in Allah because you should know better. The same with the 40-year-old. The 40-year-old was a fornicator. He said, you still having sex with women? At 40 years old, you don't have your desires, your lust under control yet? He said, don't you know on the day of judgment, some people will be raised up out their grave, and they will be raised up out their grave as a kafir because they chose their desires over Allah. Your love for sex, he told this one, your love for sex became your God because Allah blessed you to live to see 40, because 40 is old. In fact, that's when you get to the other hadith, also in Bukhari, of the 30-year-old. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the life expectancy of this nation is 60 years. Once a person reaches the age of 30, you're old. You should know better. You're still drinking? You're still partying? He said on the day of judgment, some people will be raised up as a kafir because Allah blessed them with a long life. Allah allowed you to live 30 years and you still chose to get high. Those are powerful hadiths. But why is it that in one hadith 30, another hadith 40, another hadith 60? Because he was speaking to three different people. The bottom line, anyone who lives to see the age of 30, you should have all that partying. You should have all that taking Allah for as a joke out of your system. You should know better. If you're still fornicating, smoking drugs, smoking cigarettes, lying, cheating, doing bad things, that means that you have no control over your desires. And on the day of judgment, you may be raised up as a kafir because you took your love for this world over your love for Allah. You understand the hadith now, friends? And that's the meaning that any scholar of the hadith would give you, because that's what it means.
Girl, that scared me to death when I read that, because I said, you know me, I said, 60. I said,
why
he's
y'all think?
70 something out 70.
Now y'all see why I'm always saying that we too old. I'm
It scared
old.
me. It scared me.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's supposed to. My mother, I grew up on that hadith because my mother used to drill that into me, and so did my stepfather, because life is short. That's why I keep telling y'all, we got to own up. We ain't young, we old. We supposed to know better. Anybody over the age of 30 supposed to know better. How the heck, like I tell my grandkids, you know, my daughter, you over the age of 30, you supposed to know better. Ain't no excuse now. You know, what? Get it together. Get it together. Choose Allah and stop choosing the life of this world, because ain't no excuse for you. Allah is going to say, I blessed you with a long life. We got children dying every day. We got kids dying in Gaza. We got people here in America, kids getting gunned down, don't even live to see the age of 21. My grandson didn't even live to see the age of 21. Here, Allah done blessed you with the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and you still committing shirk? You still putting your love for this dunya over Allah? That's some powerful stuff, guys. It's supposed to scare you. Oh, yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, here's a question, because I don't know if I may probably dealing with the kids. Here's one right here from Sister Nusabia. Are locks lawful? First of all, what do you mean by locks? It's haram for a Muslim to have hair on their hair and not comb through it and oil it and grease it, because Allah hates ugliness. Allah hates dirtiness and filth. We have a hadith. If you're talking about dreadlocks and letting your hair just grow and lock up, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to the mosque, and a man came to the mosque, a Bedouin. He had just converted to Islam. He had his hair twisted and knotted up in locks. Locks ain't new. Trifling people have always worn locks. The Vikings, the Arabs, people that's trifling wear locks. Don't y'all know that? That ain't new. Well, this man came to the mosque. His hair was all knotted up. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him to come here. And he asked the man, do you have a comb? The man said, yes. The Prophet said, do you have oil? The man said, yes. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who has hair on their hair should comb through it. Comb through it. Comb through it and oil it on a regular basis and clean it. He said the jinn, I repeat, the jinn walk around with their hair in knots, and they don't comb through it and they don't oil it. He said there's a tree known as the zakum tree. It grows from out of the pits of hell. The fruit on that tree is like the heads of the jinn, knotted up in locks that they can't grow through. He said, Allah hates filth. Allah hates ugliness. Go home and take care of your hair. So the man left. He went home. He cut them knots out of his hair. He came back to the mosque with his hair all nice and clean and combed. The Prophet told him to come here. He said, now, doesn't that look better? Isn't that better than walking around looking like a jinn with your hair twisted and knotted up. There's your dalil. Dreadlocks, any type of locks is nasty, it's ugly, and it's trifling. Like the prophet said, if you got hair, comb through it. If you can't comb through it, then it's ugly, it's nasty, it's dirty. Braids are not locks. You can wear braids. The prophet's wives used to braid their hair. But did the prophet's wives walk around with dreadlocks or any type of nasty, filthy locks? The prophet would have divorced them. Because like he said, that's how the jinn look. The jinn are the opposite of us. We're supposed to be opposite them. The jinn walk around with their hair knotted up, looking like monsters. And that's how you women and men look. Believe it or not, y'all think y'all look good? You look nasty, man. You better be lucky you ain't living in the days of the prophet. Sallallahu. The companions wouldn't be near you. The prophet wouldn't allow you in the mosque. If the prophet saw a person coming in the mosque with his hair in knots, he would send him out. He'd say, go home. Cut them knots out your hair. Clean yourself up. The prophet wouldn't allow it. If Umar were here, Abu Bakr, he wouldn't allow y'all to come around him looking like that. And I don't want to hear about culture. It ain't no culture. It's the culture of the jinn. You guys are imitating the jinn. You look like the zakum tree that grows from out of the pits of hell. So I've given you all the dalil. If you Muslims are too nasty, if you Muslims are too trifling to comb your hair, ain't nothing I can do for you. We have a problem. A lot of us are trifling. A lot of us are just lazy and trifling. We sit around eating. We get fat. We watch TV and we don't want to comb our hair, so we just let it knot up. And we wonder why we can't have a husband, why a man don't want us. A good man. A good man ain't going to be with no nasty looking woman. A good woman ain't going to be with no nasty looking man. Oh, yeah. By the way, I had a marriage proposal. Oh, yeah. Recently, some dreadlock jinn looking man had the nerve to approach Laila. Oh, yeah. He approached one of my brothers. Told one of my brothers, I heard your sister's single. My brother said, he looked at him and said, man, you better get rid of them shaitan locks. Then my sister wouldn't give you the time of day. Clean women are for clean men. Unclean women are for unclean men. That's what my brother said. He told him. That dude had dreadlocks hanging down to his waist. Talking about he wants your, I heard your sister available. My brother said, he told him, you better bounce. Clean women are for clean men. And Allah knows best. So
next question is, what is the significance of the Ahram during Hajj and Umrah?
Of the who? The what?
Said Ahram.
I don't know what that is. What is said in English? Brother Malik Khan, I don't know what that is in English. Maybe because the way it's spelled. Can you type it in English? I don't know what that is. Why is Geechee coming in and out? Yeah, write it in English because I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Said Ihram.
Is it the Ihram?
Yeah, that's what he wrote.
Oh, that means that puts you in a state of purification. Yeah, that means that once you go into Ihram, there's no sexual relations with your wives. The purpose of Ihram is I am now devoting my entire thoughts and actions for Allah. It's purification. That's the ritual. I'm putting aside the matters of this world, the desires of this world to get close to Allah. So that's the purpose of it. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Ihram. Yeah. Ihram. When you go into the state of Ihram, you can't kill anything. You can't kill nothing. You can't have relations with your wives. None of that. Because you're in a state of purification. It's all about you and your journey with Allah, to Allah. Yeah, that's the purpose of Ihram. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next question is, can a person accept charity and don't work in order to be scholar in Islam?
No. Like I tell you guys, scholar, that's a term of endearment. Scholars come a dime a dozen. There's no such thing as going to school to become a scholar, because hikmah, knowledge, and understanding of this deen comes from Allah. Allah says in the Quran that hikmah comes from Him. He said, but I only give it to a select few. When I went to make Hajj, one of the things that disgusted me, there were a lot of young men jumping on our bus, American men. Oh, sister, can y'all give us some money? I'm here to learn about the deen, and I got 2 wives and 5 kids. Oh, sister, can we need some falus? Give us some falus. I'm here to learn the deen. I got 4 wives at home and 20 babies. And the people sat there giving them money. You know what I did? And my husband at the time got angry. I stood up. I said, excuse me. Don't you think you need to go home and take care of your 2, 3, 4 wives and your 20, 30 babies? That's your priority. Coming here to Saudi Arabia because you want to be a scholar. That ain't going to get it. I told him Allah is going to ask you, why did you go to Saudi Arabia and live? And you got 2, 3, 4 wives and 20,000 babies that ain't got nobody to take care of them. Living in the projects, your children growing up around drugs. Oh, I gave a khutbah. Y'all know me. When I got through with that khutbah, the people took their money and put it back in their pockets. The man was mumbling, and the man I was married to said, well, she's speaking the truth. And then the brother left. Y'all know me. Oh, my Hajj was an experience. No. You know, scholars come a dime a dozen. What? Ain't no money in that. If you got a family, it's your job to take care of your wife and your children. Allah says you are accountable for those people under your care. You can stay home and seek knowledge of this religion. You can stay home like you guys are doing and learn the deen from somebody. You know, look how you guys are learning from me. Who said that you have to go and live in Saudi Arabia and your children and wives are dealing with the fitna of this world? No, we don't do that. And by the way, them brothers that ain't scholars, they come out of there. Look at them. Look at a lot of these brothers that graduate from these universities in Medina, Mecca, and Egypt. They still don't understand that the 2 sources of Islam is the Quran and the Sunnah. They still quoting the 4 imams. The only hadiths they know is Riyadh al-Salihin and the 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi. That's why I don't teach that stuff. Go home and take care of your wife and your children. That's what you are obligated to do. And Allah knows best. And by the way, we have a hadith from the Prophet. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, anyone who is capable and fit should go out, even if it means chopping wood. It would be better for you to chop some wood and sell it than to beg for charity from other people. We don't beg. That's haram. It's haram to beg for help unless you have to have it. These brothers were in their 20s. They were young and viral. And I told them, go home and take care of your 2, 3, 4 wives. What woman would marry you anyway? I don't know why these women married them. when you can't do your job. It wasn't lawful for you men to get married. If you wanted to go to school, then why did you marry these sisters and make all these babies? No. Because guess what? Because you graduate from a university, you still ain't no scholar. There's only a few scholars on this earth, Brother Omar. Not everybody is a scholar. The scholars are few, and they're dying every day. We just lost some good scholars this past month. The real scholars are dying, and we're left with these young brothers who don't understand the basics of this deen. So no, you don't take no charity. Go out and get a job and learn your deen from the people of knowledge. And Allah knows best. Yeah. Next question.
Is it haram to talk inside the bathroom?
There's nothing. And by the way, I want everybody to remember this because I get this question a lot. Whenever somebody tells you that something is haram, they have to bring the clear evidence. What is clear evidence? Clear evidence is a verse from the Quran where Allah says, thou shalt not do something. Or an authentic hadith from the Prophet where he says it's haram to do something. There is nothing in the Quran, nor is there anything from the authentic Sunnah that says you can't talk in a bathroom. And I want you guys to remember something else too. Bathrooms that we have today are not like what the Prophet and them sallallahu alaihi wasallam had in his day. They didn't have bathrooms. In the Prophet's day, they didn't have bathrooms. They didn't have toilets. They had trenches. They would go outside and there would be a hole dug in the ground or a trench dug in the ground that they would urinate and defecate at. And that's where the jinns hang out. The jinns hang out in filthy places like that where the people urinate and defecate. They didn't have bathrooms, okay? They would go find a bush or they would go to a trench that had a hole dug and urinate and defecate. We got bathrooms today. You can eat in your bathroom, sleep in your bathroom. Some of our bathrooms, are so luxurious, we can stay in there all day, live in it. Hello. But no, to answer your question, there is nothing in Islam that says you cannot talk in a bathroom. Subhanallah. And Allah knows best. Okay.
Next question is, why is music haram if there's a reason for it?
It's haram because, first of all, Allah said so. Secondly, Allah does tell us why. Allah tells us in the Quran that musical instruments are haram because they are the instruments of Shaitan. He says Shaitan uses music to take you away from remembrance of Allah. He says Shaitan, your personal jinn, they will use music to distract you from Allah. And that is so true. Look at us. Music manipulates the heart of man. If I'm a single woman like I am, I can be sitting here doing my class, and all of a sudden somebody can come in my house, one of my grandkids could come in and have their music playing, and they could be playing Mariah Carey. I wished I had a man to be held by you, to be loved and held and kissed. Right in my mind, that could be messing with me. Wow, I wished I had a man. I wished I could be held. I wished I could be kissed. The subliminal message of music. Shaitan uses music like that, the words, to arouse emotions in us, feelings in us. And as far as the instruments, the drum, boom, 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 boom. How many of us can listen to a beat and not do this? I find myself doing that. If I'm outside, talking to a neighbor and somebody rides by in a car, boom, 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 boom. I could be talking, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, hey, oh shoot, that's music. Shaitan uses music to pull us away from remembrance of Allah because we got the beat. I mean, how many of us do that? See that? Just that quick. Laila sitting there, get it, Tiba. Oh yeah. See how Shaitan get us? That's our personal jinn. Okay, so Allah says that musical instruments are haram because they are the handiwork of Shaitan. Shaitan will use those instruments to pull us away from remembrance of Allah, to make us forget our purpose, to make us forget why we here. And also, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the words of the singers, poetry is not haram, but we got to listen to the words. The feeling's gone. Oh God, it's gone. Look how they can affect us. So for those reasons and a lot more, that's why. Try to avoid music. It messes you up. Y'all see, I'm still living in the 80s. How many times y'all hear me doing a lecture and I'll be like, wait a minute, I remember that. Purple rain, purple rain. See how Shaitan got you? You can't forget it. And Allah knows best.
Next question is, when you enter the bathroom, do you wipe your behind with your left hand? And if so, what if it's hard to wipe with your left hand? Can you wipe with your right hand?
Yeah, you do the best you can. If it's hard for you to use your left hand, which it is for a lot of people, okay, the good outweighs the evil. The bottom line is to get that feces and get that urine off of you. If doing it with the right hand is complicated, you can't do it. Or if your hand is broke or you ain't even got a right hand, your left hand, use your right. Yeah, do the best you can. Allah doesn't hold us accountable for what we can't do. The bottom line is to get it off of you. Okay, to the best way you can. Okay, and Allah knows best. Next question.
If it's not good to beg for charity, but does that include getting government assistance in America?
No, that's different. Welfare. The welfare system was invented by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Did y'all know that? We Muslims were one of the first people to have a welfare system. What do y'all think the war booty went for? Okay. How do you think the Prophet's wives were taken care of after his death and all the widows? That's a welfare system. Welfare system was designed for those who are in need. That's not charity. That's what you're entitled to. But when it becomes haram, when you get in welfare and you don't need it, or you shouldn't need it. How many Muslims are capable? How many Muslims are physically young, physically fit, but you too trifling, you too lazy to go out and get a job? That's when it becomes haram. And I'm talking about you brothers, because the men are supposed to be the providers and maintainers. The women should be at home and get welfare checks, because, hey, it ain't our job to go out and work. A woman wasn't created for that. If I got children and I need some financial assistance, I apply for welfare. And I don't have a husband. That's what it's for. It's for us women and us and the children. But we got some people that's getting welfare and they're married, and the husband is young and able to work, but he's trifling. He's just lazy. He don't want to go out and get a job. So he makes his wife go get on welfare and knocks her up with a bunch of babies so she can keep getting more and more money. But that don't work in all states in America. Y'all know America changed that. Like where I live, no, you can't get welfare like that. They make you go out and get a job. Okay? But in the South, the Southern Jim Crow states of America, the Carolinas, they still do that. The more babies you have, the bigger your check. You know, but even the Kafirs and caught on to that. Other states, like where I live, you can't do that. They ain't gonna let you get on welfare unless you have no choice. And then when they put you, when you get on it, they only gonna keep you on it for a temporary amount of time. They gonna make you get up and get a job. So welfare is not the same as asking, as begging for charity. It's totally different. Ain't nothing wrong with the welfare system. That's what it's for those who need it. But for those who don't need it, now we've got a problem. And Allah knows best.
So all the companions of the Prophet worked and also learned about Islam. I thought in Sharia law, Muslims help a person who wants to be a scholar.
Okay, first of all, you're the one that asked me about Sharia law, the laws of Allah. The companions didn't sit around and live their life. You're right. All the companions worked. Even the Prophet Muhammad worked. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam worked. He provided for his family. There's a misconception that Muslims have. They think that the Prophet married Khadijah and she took care of him. That's a lie. In Islam, brother, a woman's money is hers. It ain't yours. The Prophet worked for Khadijah. He was a merchant. The Quraysh were merchants. Abu Bakr worked. He was the best of this nation. He is a scholar, but he didn't sit up on his butt. He worked. He owned his own business. Umar owned his own business. Abu Huraira, he would work. They would sell wood. They would sell clothes. Amir ibn al-As, their companions were not pimps. They were not lazy scavengers like these men today are. Because like I told you, the only person that can make you a scholar is Allah. How do you think you're going to become a scholar, dude? What do you think a scholar is? Do you know the seriousness of being a scholar? The companions didn't want to be scholars. They didn't even like people to ask them questions about Islam because they understood the seriousness of giving people the wrong information. The companions were men. They were not chumps. They all took care of their families, including the Prophet. In fact, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to worry. He used to say, what's going to happen to my wives when I die? Who's going to take care of them? The Prophet Muhammad took care of all his wives. Subhanallah. Where do you brothers get this information from that y'all think that you sit on your butt and beg for people to give you money and you going to be a scholar? First of all, anybody that wants to be a scholar ain't going to be one. You're going to be a scholar for shaitan. The Prophet said, don't go around seeking titles of prestige. He said one of the first groups of people that will be dragged by their faces and thrown in hell on the day of judgment are those men who call themselves scholars. Allah is going to ask them, what did you do with the knowledge I gave you? He's going to say, you're a liar. You wanted to be a scholar because you wanted fame. You wanted the people to call you a scholar. Why didn't you take care of your wife? Why didn't you take care of your children? The companions took care of their wives and kids. They weren't bums. They weren't users. And they never, ever begged for charity. None of them. None of the companions begged for charity. So, Brother Omar, I don't know how old you are, but you better go get a job. Door dashing is good money. Go be a door dasher. Good money. The tips are good too. Especially if you got a person like me. I tip really good. I give them $10 tips. Better go get a job, Brother Omar. Get a job. Ain't no bums in this line. Yeah. And Allah knows best.
Next question is, the hadith that talks about the last deed you did determines your outcome in the hereafter. Does that mean if you do something that is haram and Allah takes your soul at that time, will you end up in hell?
It depends. When the prophet was talking about that, he said some people can do all the good deeds in the world, and then the last thing they do can cause everything else to be invalidated. Let me give you guys an example of something that happened in the early 2000s. Right here in America, there was a daya, a brother that was very well known. He used to talk about Islam a lot. He was a good imam. I mean, he gave in charity. He even came on this website. He came on my website and gave a few lectures. Everybody loved this brother. Everybody thought he was such a good, pious Muslim. They had an earthquake. That's when they had the earthquake in California, in Los Angeles. He traveled to Los Angeles to do a conference. And that's when they had this big earthquake that happened in the early 2000s in LA. A lot of people were killed. Nobody knew what happened to this imam because we all knew that he had went there. His wives, he had more than one wife. His wives were like, where is he? Oh my God. So finally, they found him. The hotel that he was staying in had been destroyed from this earthquake. They found him buried underneath the rubble. And on top of him was a prostitute. He died in bed doing whatever he was doing with a prostitute. They were both naked, wrapped around each other. That's an example of that hadith. That's why the prophet said we have to be careful, because some of us can do all the deeds that appear to take us to paradise, and then the last thing you do, you ain't had no chance to repent. You in a hotel room with a prostitute. Allah sends an earthquake, and bam, you ain't had no chance to repent. You got to go to hell and pay for that sin. Now, does that mean that he'll be in hell forever? Allah knows best. Allah may forgive you or he may not. But the bottom line, that's what the prophet meant. The last deed that you do on this earth can determine if you end up in paradise or hell. That brother was found. I'll never forget his wives and kids. Everybody was shocked because he was a very famous caller. Very famous. You caught like that? You went out that way? And then also the prophet said, on the other hand, there are some people who can do all the bad deeds to take them to hell. And then the last deed they do is good, like the Jewish boy. The Jewish boy who was dying of a sickness. He told the prophet, I'm in a bad state. I'm in a bad state. The prophet said, declare La ilaha illallah, and that state will change. So that little boy, before he died, he declared La ilaha illallah. And that's when the prophet said what he said. For some of us, the last deed we do on this planet can determine if we end up in paradise or hell. That boy died with La ilaha illallah, paradise. Who knows about that imam? That imam died in a hotel room, in an earthquake, with a prostitute on top. That's what that means. And Allah knows best. So be careful. In other words, be careful of the choices we make, because you never know when Allah is going to call you back to him. Do you want to go out with a prostitute on top of you? Or do you want to go out with La ilaha illallah on your lips, on your tongue? So think about it. And Allah knows best. Okay. Yeah, so Miss Jackson, there it is. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with you getting government assistance. You're a woman too. You know, Muslim women shouldn't be working. You know, our job, our role is the children. Remember, everyone is a guardian over something. Allah's going to ask us, why come our children grew up not knowing how to pray, not knowing what wala wal bara is, not knowing where they were, the basis of this deen. We were too busy out working. You know, if we have to work, that's different. I had to work. I worked for 36 years and I hated every single minute of it. You know, but I had no choice. I had to live and I wasn't going on no welfare. Sorry. Laila can't do the PJs. I can't do the projects. Nope. I'm an upscale girl. Uptown girl. You know, so I had to work. You know, but if you don't have to work, Miss Jackson, you know, you got children, you got a husband, make your husband work. If he has to work 3-4 jobs, make him work 3-4 jobs. You stay at home with those children. That's your job. Okay. Yeah, let's see. By the way, Amina, you know that man I'm talking about, don't you? Amina, you was coming to my website back then. You remember that famous imam? Oh, yeah, that's what happened to him. He got caught in that hotel room, that earthquake in L.A. Y'all remember that? He used to teach on my website. Oh, yeah. Heck of a way to be caught. With your pants down, literally. With your pants down. Scary.
Next question. If a food is said it has alcohol in there, can you eat it or not?
No. What kind of alcohol? Well, if they're going to put it in food, then it's real alcohol. You know, yeah, try to avoid alcohol, guys. If we eat it, that's fermented. Remember, there's 2 different types of alcohol. The fermented kind is what's haram. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who drinks from a fermented, this is haram. The non-fermented is not. Okay, the alcohol they use for deodorant, the alcohol that's in our lotion, the alcohol that I put on my face when I get my facials and stuff, that is rubbing alcohol. That's not fermented. That type of alcohol, if you eat it, you're going to die. You're going to get poisoned. But if they put it in the food, that's different. That's the fermented kind. So try to avoid it. Yes. And now you have alternatives. For example, if I want to make a cake, which reminds me, I got a piece of cake in there. If I want to make a cake and I need vanilla extract, I get the non-alcoholic vanilla extract. Yes. Avoid the alcohol that's in your food if you can. If you didn't know, don't worry about it. Let me tell y'all about this too. When it comes to the lawful and the unlawful, Allah didn't tell us we got to go out and investigate when it comes to that food. Just like when the companions were served that meat from those Magians who converted to Islam. Ibn Abbas said, oh prophet, we don't know if they killed this meat before they converted. We don't know if they mentioned the name of their pagan god over it. So should I go ask or what? The prophet said, no, just say Bismillah and eat it. He didn't tell them to go and ask them. So if I'm going shopping, I don't have to sit there and write down phone numbers and do like some of these fanatics do and call everybody on the phone. Like the prophet said, a person will keep on asking questions until you end up making it haram. Okay? Just read the label. If the label doesn't have alcohol in it, then buy it. If it has alcohol in it, don't buy it. If it has pork in it, don't buy it. If it has any pork byproducts, don't buy it. And by the way, guys, try to eat organic. That's what I do. I've been eating organic for the past 10, 15 years. Oh, yeah. Everything in my house, fat-free, sugar-free, and organic. Even my yogurt, organic. Even my meat. Y'all know I love meat. I got me some, I got a sirloin. I'm going to cut it. By the way, I'll be doing my chopping show tonight. You know, my little cooking show. I'll be cooking at 12 o'clock tonight. I'm going to make some, bought me a nice sirloin steak. I'm going to cut it up into little strips, you know, and I got some green peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, put it together, saute it with some onion, put the seasoning, make my own little homemade gravy. You know, it's not made with flour. I don't use flour. Use cornstarch. Serve it over rice. Fat-free, healthy meal. Laila eats healthy. I sure do. I'm cooking that tonight. You know, try to be organic, guys. Stay away from all that because they put too much hormones and stuff. Your meat, when you buy your meat, get the meat that is that's hormone free. I usually get the expensive meat. What's it called? Y'all know. If I can't get kosher, what I get? I like kosher. Prime. What's it called? That the black horse, Angus. Yeah, get the Angus beef. The Angus beef is good. I grew up with I was working with the farm girls. Oh yeah, they're here in Ohio. They raise them Angus beef. They eat real. They don't give them that filthy stuff. That's why they meat so tender and stuff. Yeah. But no, if it's got alcohol, try to stay away from it. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
And Ms. Jackson, I think you answered her question. She said, follow up, like vanilla extract has alcohol in it. Can we use it for baking?
No, because just get the no, because it's still going to be in there. Okay. Dr. Assam is a food scientist, and something about Dr. Assam said that alcohol does not evaporate like people say. So just get the vanilla extract that is alcohol free. They have it right there on the shelves. Right on the shelves next to the vanilla extract with alcohol, they have the vanilla extract that's alcohol free. Just get the alcohol free one. The organic alcohol free. Yeah.
Next question is, I heard an imam say that the single Muslims in the community is a threat to the Muslims. Didn't understand what he meant by that.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, you have to ask whoever that crazy imam is what that means. I don't know what that means. I guess Laila's a threat. Or I'm a threat to who? Who am I a threat to? I'm single, you single. Who are we threats to? Threats to who? So, you know, be careful with that. I don't know what he's talking about. Ask him what he meant. I can't answer for some statement somebody makes. Yeah. Okay, here's another question. Follow up. What about eating from American restaurant that might use wine to cook in the food? They usually let you know. Like if you go to Fridays, if you go to Applebee's, they let you know. They'll tell you that this is made with wine. They have to now. That's the law. Y'all didn't know that? America requires that now. They have to let you know if they're cooking with wine. They'll let you know. And you just don't order from that. Don't order from the menu the stuff that's cooked with wine. Don't order. I used to go to TGIFs all the time. I used to go to Applebee's all the time. I loved Old Charlie's. I wouldn't order any of the dishes that have wine on it. They put on the menu whether it's got wine or not. They let you know. Yeah, well, Sister Amina, anybody that says that you shouldn't be single, tell them to bring their dalil. They always quoting Ibn Taymiyyah. Did you know Ibn Taymiyyah never got married? So ask him, why does he always quote Ibn Taymiyyah if you shouldn't be single? Why do they refer to Ibn Taymiyyah as their sheikh? Come on, people need to get a life. How can you make up rules? Where did Allah say that if you single, you a threat? No one has the authority to make those type of comments. Where's your dalil? Where does Allah say in the Quran that a person shouldn't be single? Where does Allah say in the Quran that if a person is single, they're enemy number one? Where does Allah say any of that? Where did the Prophet Muhammad say that? These people are crazy. Tell them to stop making up stuff in this religion. That's why Allah has sent the war. The war is not going anywhere. It's just escalating. Yeah. That is the, yes, exactly. Marriage is the qadr of Allah. We have to understand, guys, everything that happens in this world happens because Allah wills it. How can somebody tell you what your future is? Maybe Allah doesn't have it in your cards for you to be married. Maybe Allah's saving you for a companion. Maybe Allah's saving you for somebody in paradise. Maybe your soulmate was in the paradise with you before you came here, and Allah's saving you to go back to Him. Allah's in control of that type of stuff, not us. Allah's in control of whether you get married, whether you live, whether you die, what's going to happen tomorrow. So who is this man to sit there and tell you that because you're single, you're enemy number one? Maybe he got a problem with his taqwa. I don't know. Be careful of those type of people, guys. Only Allah has the right to say that. You don't know what Allah has in store for you. Allah knows best. Yeah. I'd rather be single. I'd rather die by myself than marry a man with dreadlocks. So are you telling me that because I refuse to lay with a man who's so filthy that he lets his hair grow and knot up, because I choose to be by myself and be with a dreadlock wearing dude whose prayers are not even accepted, that I'm bad, that I'm enemy number one? I'll rot and stay alone and then be with a lot of these brothers out here. A lot of these brothers are so messed up. A lot of these brothers are so messed up, you can't pay me $1 million to give you the time of day, more less give you a lay in any hay. Hey. So whoever that imam is, he got a problem. Allah knows best. He probably want to marry somebody and she don't want him. That's all. It happens. Yeah, we turn them down all the time. And they get attitude. Yeah.
Let me get these questions in Zoom room.
Okay.
The first one is, can we own an ATM machine? Someone wanted to know to make sure it is not haram before this person does it for their business.
There's nothing in Islam that mentions anything about an ATM machine. The things that Allah doesn't mention are all lawful and good. An ATM machine is just a machine that you take money out of. If you got a business, it's good to put one in there so people can get money. Nothing's wrong with that. And Allah knows best.
The next question is, can a Muslim woman join the police force?
Okay, here's where the lines become blurred again. We got this women's lib. Okay, we got these American Muslim women wanting to be recognized as men. You want to be like a man. Now you want to work as a construction worker. You want to go out there and drill the hole in the ground. Now you want to, put your belt on and wear a gun and put on your hat and say, hey, brother, pull it over. I'm getting ready to blow you away. No. Your job is to be at home with your children. And I tell you, sisters, ask yourself this. Would Aisha be a police officer? Can you imagine Aisha, radiallahu anha, or Salama, or any of those female companions lowering their self to a job like that? That's lowering yourself as a woman. It's a man's world. The man is supposed to be the protector, not you. Your job is to protect your children Protect your children from the drugs, from the alcohol, from the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B wannabes, the Kardashian wannabes. That's your job. It's the man's job to protect the public, not you. You a woman. And I tell you sisters all the time, it doesn't matter how big and bad and tough you think you are. You still a woman. I'm about as tough as they get. Oh yeah, I can take a 300-pound man down in 5 seconds. But how long can I hold him down? I can't keep him down but 5 minutes at the most. Then I got to tap out. A man will whoop your behind. You better take your butt home and be a mama to your children, sisters. Stop trying to blur the lines. Stop trying to be like these Kafir women. Allah has raised us up. We're better than that. We're better than that. It ain't my job to go out and put my life on the line to save somebody else. It's my job to save my children. My children from being dope dealers, from succumbing to the drugs, to alcohol, to sex of this world. So no, you can't be no police officer. Why would you want to be? Something wrong with you? LGBTQ? Hello? Let's talk about it. Oh yeah. That's that LGBTQT. You a woman. You ain't no man. Go home. Sit down. Find your place. And do your job as a woman. We're pampered in Islam. I'm the protector of my children. I'm the protector of my husband's home. Anybody come through this door? You want to see how tough I am? Come through my door. I'll take you down, bro. But is it my job to go out there and try to save the public? No. I'm Wonder Woman in my bait. You understand that, sisters? Y'all better find y'all places. And Allah knows best.
Is it considered celebrating your birthday if you accept the free things apps on your phone given to you?
The what? What type of what is what?
Like free things on the phone app that they give it to you on your birthday stuff?
No. No. If somebody wants to give you $1 million, you gonna turn it down because I happen to be born this day? No. What's wrong with that? That's not celebrating your birthday. But God, by the way, guys, your birthday should be celebrated between you and Allah. The Prophet Muhammad used to fast on Mondays as a way of thanking Allah for creating him. That's between you and Allah. If an app just wants to send you some money because you was born on this day, I'm going to take the money. That ain't celebrating the birthday. Celebrating the birthday is what you people do when y'all go on YouTube and Facebook telling everybody, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Give it to me. You know, that's celebrating your birthday. I'm going to party. I'm 60 years old. You know what celebrating a birthday is. And Allah knows best.
How do we avoid swearing by the Constitution when we pass our citizenship test?
That's something that a lot of people have asked Sheikh Morsi before. And I remember Sheikh Morsi telling the people some things there's no getting around. And Allah doesn't hold you accountable. And I think I heard him say something about affirmation. I don't think they have you swear anymore. They have you affirm. I think that America, and as a paralegal, if I remember correctly, that's true. They don't have you swear by the Constitution anymore. They have you affirm what that Constitution says. You affirming it, but you're not swearing to it. They took swearing by the Bible. They took that out of the court system and all of that in America. Yeah, so you're not swearing, you're affirming. Affirming and swearing are two different things. And Allah knows best.
The next question is Is there anything wrong with kids having dolls and stuffed animals that have eyes? I heard someone say there will be no angels coming in the house.
No, that hadith is talking about putting, that's why we talked about how the Mekositic, whenever we give a Mekositic interpretation, a Mekositic in clarification is based on what the companion said, the hadiths. But one of the things is you have to know the Arabic language. And that's why a lot of these Muslims don't understand the hadiths, because they don't translate into English well. Okay, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about the angels not entering a home, he was talking about a home that has statues on display. Statues. Back in those days, that's what they did. They didn't have cameras. They would make statues and put them on display. Or if they were rich, they would have a portrait of themselves drawn, or a portrait of someone they love drawn and put it on the wall. To put it on display means that I'm putting it up on display for everyone to see and to acknowledge. And it has to be an entity that has a soul. An entity that has a soul. Y'all understand that? If a person makes a sculpture of me, you're duplicating me. I'm a human being. I have a soul. If I were to make a sculpture of my cat, I'm duplicating him. He has a soul. If I were to do a sculpture of a cockroach, la cucaracha has a soul. Yeah, I got 5%. Was it 10? 10% Spanish in me. Yeah. For the sisters out there. Yeah, I got 10% Spanish and Portuguese. Yeah. 10%. La cucaracha. Okay, but anyway, if I were to do a sculpture or a portrait of a cucaracha, a cockroach has a soul. This is haram. But is there a such thing as a talking bear? No. Is there a such thing as a horse that has wings? Aisha used to play with a horse that has wings. No. That has no soul. It's not real. So having a baby doll, is there a such thing as a human being that has buttons like this for an eye? No. It has no soul. It's not after human being. Is there a human being that has a line or mouth? No. So we can't hang up pictures of our family members on display. You can take pictures of your children, your family, put them in a book and put them in a drawer, but we can't put them on display for everybody to see. A baby doll, a toy horse, or a stuffed animal. Those are not real things that have souls. There's no such thing as a bear that looks like that. Subhanallah. So the prohibition is against creatures that have souls. You're trying to duplicate me, or duplicate a real bird, a cat, a cockroach, not a flying man. There's no such thing as a man that's half bat. A Batman is not real. There's no man that's like that. That's nothing that has a soul. And Allah knows best.
That's all from here. And then YouTube, Sister Pamela said, is the gastric bypass surgery good to have for weight loss?
From what I understand, because I had gastric bypass, everybody I had it with died. I'm the only one that's left living. That's kind of scary. From what I understand, they don't even do gastric bypass unless they have no choice. They'll do something different, the sleeve and stuff. Gastric bypass is the most dangerous form. But if you meet the criteria, you're morbidly obese. You have to be morbidly obese for it. Then talk to your doctor about it. That's a medical question that you have to sit down with your doctor. I had it done. And also 50 of my co-workers had it done. Out of all 51 of us, I'm the only one living. They all died. I had one of them die last year. They all died from bowel blockage. Bowel blockage is what most of them died from, and that's weird. So talk to your doctor. Okay. Sister Tashri, is that Tashri's next? Tashri says, do Muslims have to say the iqamat? Okay, it depends on if you're a woman or a man. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there is no adhan nor iqamat for a woman because it requires us women raising our voice, and beautifying the voice. The Prophet, told us to be careful beautifying the voice because you don't know what sickness lurks in the heart of a man. So for us women, we don't have to call the adhan nor the iqamat when we pray. And what's the purpose of the iqamat? The iqamat is to let the people know that I'm getting ready to pray right now. The adhan is to let the people know that the prayer time has come. Okay? So for the men, yes, the men don't have to call the adhan at home, because if there's a mosque in your city, they're calling the adhan for everybody in your city. So you don't have to recite the adhan at home. But the iqamat, you should pronounce the iqamat before you pray. But if you're a woman, you don't have to do neither one. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. And Allah knows best. Next question.
Do you know why the people at the masjid make dua in congregation?
I'm not a man, so I don't know. What kind of dua they make in congregation? I don't know. Ask them why they do that, Brother Malik. I don't know. That's a question for the brothers. Let me see if I can ask Dr. Jamali. Hold on. He's always does that. I think Jamali does that a lot. Doesn't Jamali do that, guys? Hold on. I'll call Jamali. Yeah. Let's see. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ibrahim Darmali. We have a question here this is the Laila Q&A show. I have a question from Brother Malik. He says, do you know why the people at the masjid make dua in congregation?
Every day, or just when something happens, like for a sign or something like this?
Is it every day, Malik, or just when something happens? Wait, I have to type. Give the answer to both, just in case, because it's going to take, the lag is so bad for him.
Something like hard, simple connection that what's going on in Gaza right now. No problem to do not after Salah, in last rak'ah, every Salah, last rak'ah. Like Maghrib, for example, the fourth rak'ah, Fajr, the second rak'ah. Okay? But every day, with no reason, that's bid'ah.
He said on Fridays.
No. There is no da'at on Friday, that's bid'ah.
That's bid'ah.
The Egyptians do that, but not all the Muslim Ummah.
The Egyptians do that?
Yeah, Egyptian masajid in Egypt, yes.
Wow.
The majority, not all of them, the majority.
Oh, wow. Okay, you got your answer, Brother Malik. He said that's bid'ah. That's innovation on Fridays. If they were doing it in times of calamity for Palestine or something like that, that's different. But to do it every Friday in congregation, this is a bid'ah.
Yes.
You got it? Okay. All right. May Allah bless you. I'll call you if I need you again. Okay. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay. He said they do that in Egypt. Oh God, Egypt's got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that's going on in Egypt, man. Yeah. Okay, next question. Go ahead.
Okay, the next question is, if a person is terminally ill and cannot bear the pain and suffering anymore, is it permissible to ask for assistance in dying, meaning asking the doctors to end their suffering?
Oh no, astaghfirullah. This is suicide. Where did this question come from? Off of Zoom or off of here?
It's anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay. All right. Let me answer this. This is a serious question, guys. And let me answer for the person. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day shared this following story with his companions. He said, of the people that came before us, there was a man who fought valiantly in a battle for the sake of Allah. During his fight, he became wounded in his hand, and the pain was so unbearable. The pain was so unbearable that he took his own life. He killed himself to take himself out of the misery of it. And Allah gathered that man's soul to him and said, why did you hasten your life? He told the man, don't you know that there's always hope? Never give up on the hope of Allah. And as a result of that man doing that, that man is in hell forever. Guys, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, never ask for death. Never pray for death. He said, if life is so bad, if you're going through such hardship, say, oh Allah, keep me living as long as life is best for me. And oh Allah, take my soul only if death is best for me. But never take your own life, because there's always hope. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said one of the sins of disbelief is suicide. Why is it that that's a sin that Allah will never forgive? Because the person gave up hope in Allah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never, ever be a believer unless you have hope, love, and fear of Allah at the same time. To lose any one of them and die that way, you die a kafir. So for the sister that asked this question, if your life is so bad, you're going through so much pain, you never ask the doctor to kill you, because there's always hope. Remember the story of Job alayhi salam. Allah allowed Shaitan to test him. Shaitan took away his wife, took away his children, took away his money, took away his home, his friends, took away his health. And Job lay there dying, but he still said, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. He had hope. And that's when Allah gave him back everything. So no, you never tell the doctor to end it, because telling the doctor to end it means you gave up on Allah first and foremost, and then you gave up on yourself. And I want everyone to remember that we all have a personal jinn assigned to us. And that jinn's job is to try to make us kill ourselves. That jinn wants you to be his or her companion in hell. Never ask anyone to kill you. Always have hope. But if it's so bad, say, oh Allah, Keep me living as long as life is best for me. Oh Allah, take my soul only if death is best. The first husband I was married to, he died 3 years ago. That's my daughter's father. I'll never forget, he was such a strong, powerful man. But he died of that same disease that Jamali had, that forgot what it's called right now. He suffered with that disease for about 25 years. And he was a strong man. 2 weeks before he died, I had just moved back to Cleveland. And I hadn't seen him or talked to him in a long time. My granddaughter, Jayla, was staying here with me. And he called to talk to Jayla. And Jayla said, I'm with my grandmother. And he said, I heard him because she had him on loud. So I heard him say, let me see your grandma. Let me see your grandma. And when I said, oh, I don't want to talk to him. I used to tease him. I don't want to talk to him. His toothless self. Ask him, did he get some teeth yet? I was joking. She gave the phone and she put him on the phone and I was shocked. I didn't recognize him. Latifah knows him. He looked bad. He used to have he was Indian. He used to have long, beautiful hair that came down his back. He was the finest man I ever seen in my life. My first husband, my daughter's father, he was the most handsome man you could ever see when he was young and he was healthy. I couldn't believe it was him. His skin was wrinkled. He had lost about 100 pounds. He was shriveled up. And I looked, I said, Hashim? And I remember he looked at me and he said, MashaAllah, you still beautiful. You look just like you looked when I married you at 15, when you was 15. And I said, well, how are you? He said, I'm not doing good, Laila. He said, I fell in the tub. He said, and I had to call Jayla and Chandani, that's my daughter, to get me out the tub. He said, I was in the tub in the cold water, for a whole day. He said, I never, ever, ever wanted my children to have to change me and take care of me. And I looked at him because I used to call him Al Capone. He was Al Capone. And I looked at him on that FaceTime phone. I said, Hashim. He said, Laila, I can't do this. I said, Hashim, say, oh Allah, keep me living as long as life is best for me. And oh Allah, take my soul only if death is best. He said, thank you. He died 3 days later. He said that dua, and Allah took his soul 3 days later. I'll never forget that. He knew Sheikh Atlee. He used to be with Darul Islam. He was very well known. I was married to Al Capone. Very well known and respected. So I'm saying it to say, sister, you never ask Allah to take your life or tell a doctor to put you out your misery, because there's always hope. Make that dua. And Allah will answer it one way or another. And Allah knows best. Next question.
What can I do if my 16-year-old child is trying to get emancipated?
This is a Muslim child trying to get emancipated. Is this a Bantu? In other words, are you from Africa? Or is this just an American person? My answer is this. If you from Africa, send that 16-year-old kid back home. That's the problem we got. Somalis, Nigerians. These kids come to America. They get born in America and they become all like American kids because we busy making money. We ain't raise them right. Send it back home to Nigeria, or send it back home to Ghana. Send it back home to Somalia, Kenya. Send it back home, because there's nothing you can do. The laws in America allow children to get emancipated. So there's nothing you can do except send it back home. And the law knows best. Yeah.
And Brother Malik wants to know, does Al-Wala wal-Bara stands for love and hate for the sake of Allah?
Al-Wala wal-Bara is an Arabic principle that refers to having allegiance. It's part of the Shahada. It's the second part of the Shahada. When we declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, we are declaring that my allegiance is to Allah and to his prophet and to the religion of Islam and the Muslims of it. And we're also pledging that I disassociate from anyone or anything that contradicts what Allah says, what the prophet says, or what my religion calls for. And in order to be a believer, you have to have love for Allah and also hate for the sake of Allah too. What does it mean to love for the sake of Allah? To love for the sake of Allah means I love everything that Allah loves. This is all part of the Shahada. Allah loves everything he made lawful. To hate for the sake of Allah means I hate what Allah hates. And Allah says he hates everything he made haram. So you hate fornication. You hate lying. You hate cheating. You hate hypocrisy. You hate not praying. You hate not giving in charity. You hate not wearing hijab. You love honesty. You love kindness. You love prayer. You love your parents. You love your wife, your children. That's what loving for the sake of Allah means. It's all part of the Shahada. But Al-Wala wal-Bara stands for having allegiance and disassociation towards Allah, his prophet, and his the religion. Join my classes every day. I teach it every day here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next question. Sister Musima, you said you had a question you wanted to ask. What was your question, Sister Musima? Did I get your question? Yeah, Sister Musima, did I get your question? Okay. Okay, I did answer. Okay. Yeah. Are there any other questions? That's it, Sister Fahmy?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, well, mashallah, this was a pretty good Q&A. Y'all like this, the new stream. The new stream seems to be more stable. You know, they couldn't hack me, but I see I need to work a couple more things with it because I didn't connect my Rumble right. I know what to do with Rumble next time, guys. I see what I did wrong. But alhamdulillah, this was a good Q&A show. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow is Saturday, and we have Dr. Asim, and he did send me his topic for tomorrow. Let me find it. Oh, okay, tomorrow, Dr. Asim will be talking about the devil worship. This should be a topic y'all like. How people worship the devil. Different ways that we find Muslims calling themselves Muslims, but they're worshiping the devil. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also tomorrow morning at 10. Don't forget, guys, we have the new class with Sister Samat, right? Sister Samat. Let me see if I can.
I thought you said it's canceled.
No, she canceled it last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this week her class is here. Yeah, Sister Samat. Let me show y'all this. And I will be streaming it. She's doing the names of Allah. Sister Samat, she's from Egypt. And she'll be live from Egypt, and I will stream. I'm going to use this program to stream her. But that's at 10 o'clock in the morning, which means I got to wake up early. Lord, have a mercy, Laila. Oh, man. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have a thing for her? Geechee, did we make something for her?
Yeah.
We did? Hold on, guys. She did that one class. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let me show y'all this. This is her. Oh, yeah. We did do a thing for her. Let me show it to y'all. Hold on. Let me add it on here too, since this is the new program. Okay. Yeah, so her class is at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to tell you, she's going to be speaking about the meaning of the name Allah. Allah's name. Allah. What does Allah mean? A lot of Muslims don't know what the name Allah means. Well, she's going to break that down for you guys tomorrow. And that's at 10 a.m. So we have her at 10 a.m. We have Dr. Asim at 4 p.m. Then you have, do we have Brother Hanif tomorrow?
Yeah, he should be tomorrow.
We have Brother Hanif at 6:30. Oh, we got a lot. But this is the commercial for Sister Samat. Let me show it to you guys.
His names, we need to know about them, how to apply them, ponder the meanings behind them.
New class alert! Sunnahfollowers presents The Names of Allah. Please join us every Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard with Sister Samar. Streaming on all major platforms, right here, channel Sunnahfollowers.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did I put that back? Okay. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, so that's tomorrow at 10 a.m., guys. And you guys will like her class. I mean, she doesn't teach it like I do, but similar. You guys will like it. It's a pretty good class. So that's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure you guys are here. I will try to stream her tomorrow. Okay. And by the way, let's see, what is this? How can I help my kids to pray at school like door prayer, especially in winter when the time for prayer is real easy, Miss Jackson. When I was in school, I would do this. Raise my hand. The teacher would say, what? Can I go to the bathroom? Yes. And that's it. I'd go to the bathroom and pray. Like I said, back in the day when I was growing up in the 60s, oh yeah. Muslims today, you guys think that the world owe you something. I grew up in the civil rights movement. The world don't owe you nothing but a hard time. When I had to pray, I'd raise my hand, Miss Weathersby. Can I go to the bathroom? Yes, you can, Laila. Take the hall pass. Get the hall pass. I'd leave out and I'd go to and find a corner in the stairwell and pray. Or I would go into the bathroom in the lounging part and pray standing. That's all you do. You know, we have to stop making this religion difficult for ourselves. The world don't owe you no prayer room. The world don't owe you nothing but a bathroom break. No one can deny you going to the bathroom. Even on the job, they got to give you a break to go onto the bathroom. So that's all you brothers and sisters got to do. Raise your kids to go to and tell them when it's time to pray, take a bathroom break. Go to the bathroom and make salat. And yes, you can pray in the bathroom if that's all you got. This entire earth is a place of worship for us. And Allah knows best. Okay. Okay, here's another question. When a man is in a polygamous marriage, is he allowed to bring a child from one house? If the wife doesn't want that, then he can't do that. If because his children are his kids, they're not yours unless you had them. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Maria, who was his right hand possession, when Maria gave birth to Ibrahim, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took Ibrahim to Aisha's house because he wanted Aisha to see him. He said, "Look, Aisha, doesn't he look like me? Doesn't he look like me?" And Aisha was so angry and was so rude that the Prophet left and never brought Ibrahim around her again. Ibrahim ended up dying not long after that. So no, if you don't want him to bring his children from another wife around you, no, because they're not your children. They don't belong to you. You're only responsible for your kids. So you tell him, I don't want your other kids around me. Period. Dot. He has to respect that. If he don't want to respect it, divorce is good and clean. Laila, divorce is good and clean. And Allah knows best. Sister Miss Jackson, I prayed standing up. Like I said, I'm not going to put myself on no filthy floor. I prayed standing up. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, stand, pray standing. If you can't pray sitting, pray sitting. If you can't pray standing, whatever. So just that's what I did. I'd stand there and do my prayer. I wouldn't hit that flow but I did my prayer. Hello. Real easy. The religion of Islam is easy, guys. We make it hard because we feel that we're privileged for some reason. We're not strong like we used to be in the 60s when the world didn't owe you nothing and didn't give you nothing but a hard time. Yep. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, the children of another wife do not belong to you. We're not the LDG, what you call them, LDS. I keep telling Muslims, we keep blurring the lines. We are not LDS. This ain't no sister wife crap. We don't live in the same house. We ain't sister wives, and those ain't my kids, ain't her kids. She held accountable for them, not me. I got mine to worry about. And it's hard trying to keep mine out the dope house. It's hard trying to keep mine off the pole. What I look like trying to worry about somebody else's dope house and pole? No. All right. Alhamdulillah, Miss Jackson. And by the way, Miss Jackson, I've seen the growth. You've been coming here since Ramadan, I think. And mashallah, you become such a strong Muslim woman. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of all of you. Sister Muslima, you too, all of you. I can see the growth in all of you with this deen. Sister Margaret, all of you. You guys have grown so much in your knowledge and understanding of this deen. And I'm proud of all of you because it's not easy. It's not easy to be Muslim when we're living with people who have practice. Whereas we're surrounded by so many Muslims who have practiced this deen. So I'm proud of all of you, sisters. I really am. All right, guys, this was a good Q&A session. I think we're going to end it for tonight so I can try to cook something to eat. Can y'all believe I haven't eaten anything today? But I bought those peppers, and I got that steak. I'm gonna go in there and do my chopping. I like to chop, make my healthy meal. Okay, and I'm gonna eat it. And then I'll probably just try to figure out this website stuff. All right, guys, I'm gonna log out for tonight. Make sure everybody is here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sister Samat, her class. Okay, so subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum. Everybody have a good night, inshallah. Wow.